Right guys, you've seen a quick snippet of my dive in Iceland. Now, compared to other dives you've seen about Silfra, I'm going to do slightly different because all the videos are basically the same. In this video, I'm just going to tell you what you need to be aware of when pre-booking to dive and actually on a dive site, like things to take and maybe one or two few tips. Now, I dived with Dive.is, which is based in Reykjavik. Now, I booked it prior to arriving in Iceland. Now, to dive in Silfra, you need to be dry suit certification because one, the water is cold all year round, no matter what, if it's summer, it hits roughly 2 degrees. Now, obviously the big one, you have to be a scuba diver. The minimum dives they will accept is roughly 6 dives, as for example, a wetsuit diver, and same with the dry suits. But if you're just a wetsuit diver and really want to dive, you can do a course with them. I think it's roughly a 2-day course prior to actually diving the Silfra itself. Now on the menu itself, you've got, apart from the minimum dives, you have to be, or not have to be, if you're age of above 60, you've got some proof of you're certified and medically fit to dive, and you've got to bring some documentations for that as well. Even if you're under the age of 60, actually on the day of the dive, you've got to fill in some form or disclaimer saying nothing has changed with your health prior to diving. Also, you have an option to get picked up from your hotel or various locations in Reykjavik, or you can meet them actually to the actual dive site. Now, I went for the option of pickup. One of their drop list was one of my hotels that I stayed at. I'll put a little video, you can see it briefly. It's a 3-star hotel, included breakfast. It done its job, it was warm, and it was ideal located, give or take, roughly in the centre of Reykjavik itself. I got picked up at 8:30. It was pretty cold on that day, it was December. You also get issued mitts. Now, I've never had to use mitts before, I just used the normal finger gloves. With mitts, if you've worn mitts before, you use that dexterity, and especially when using camera, which I had a GoPro, it's a bit awkward to hit the buttons. Also, I found out other guys had GoPro. You had I don't know what it's called, they've got the blue battery in it. One or two of them had the battery fully charged. Okay, they might have left the camera outside prior to diving, but when they got in the water, the cameras, well, one of the cameras actually turned off and one of the batteries drained pretty quickly. Now, I've got the extreme battery and that done its job, it was fine. It done the whole dive and even the walk back and a bit more footage, so it's perfect. So that's something to think about if you haven't got one of those batteries or whatever camera you use. Be aware of the temperature. Bring an undersuit and some socks. Now, someone gave me a good tip, a club who's dived here before, the hand warmers. Now, I use them on my socks and they're just brilliant. Just between your feet and your socks, they were just great. I've just kept my feet nice and toasty all day long diving. Also, when you book as well, they have an option for buying some merchandise and photos. Now, the photos on the day, if you haven't went for an option to get photos, on the day you can actually tell them that you want to get some photos, and then it will just send you a link after you made payment. They have merchandise, sweaters and t-shirts, and if you want like a souvenir, I bought one of these for like a mask strap type thing, which looks pretty cool. Now, actually, when you're on the site and you have not pre-ordered it, they don't have anything in stock for you to try on or buy there, and then you have to go to the shop and actually get it yourself. There's nowhere there to eat. There's toilet facilities, and changing wise, as I mentioned, it's pretty cold. When I went in December, they've got vans there, it's got that heated, and you can just get in the back and get changed. What else? There's like you can't dive yourself there. Like if you want to dive yourself, it's a national park where you have to pay extra for. There's a rangers, as they call them, who's in charge, and each group, because it was Dive.is and there was other dive centers there as well, there's like a queuing system. Sometimes you can go straight away or you can hang around, so you could sometimes a bit of a wait. We were number 5 and there was a bunch of snorkelers in front of us, so that was great. They never stirred up any of the silt that was underneath there, so that worked out pretty well. It was a very short walk there, and then once you get at the end, you'll see in the video at the end, there's a bit of a walk back, especially if you've got dry suit divers. You know yourself, you've got to have quite a bit of weight. Another thing you've got to be aware of, they ask you what weight you're going to want to carry. Now maybe in the UK you dive it, or somewhere else you dive in salt water. There, that's fresh water, so you're going to take off a bit of kilos what you probably normally dive. For example, I'm 14, and there I went 12, and it was perfectly fine for me. And we've done a weight check before we went off diving. Right, what else? That is it, guys. I can't think of anything else that could help. But if you want send me comments if you want some advice. I'll see if I can help you anyway. Okay, the next bit is like a section of me diving. Having a whale of a time. Only thing I can say is you might have seen many videos, you've even gonna watch my video, and it looks amazing. But honestly, you can't beat it actually going in the water. Like you put your head under that water for the first time and look, and the visibility just goes on for at least 100 meters. It's clear as crystal, and the colors, and even the instructor or the guide told us just have a drink of the water, see how fresh. We did, and it was nice and fresh. I have to admit, no stomach bugs afterwards, but honestly, have a go. It's great. Hopefully you get a chance, or maybe planning to dive Silfra in the near future. If you do, you're definitely going to enjoy it. Okay, enjoy my next video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Okay, you have 6 then, right?
No, I just have 3, but there's only 14, right? Yeah, so it's 6, 5, and I'll take 3 that are up here.
Okay.
I'm going to see.
make our way back because it is a lot of weight. If anyone has any problems, let me know and I'll give you a hand, okay?